Hello, everyone. My name is Nira Arora from 94.5 Virgin Radio in Vancouver. I do the morning show with Johnny, Holly, and Nira. Thank you so much for having me with you this evening. And what an honor. I try to give back whenever I can to the community, and especially with an event like this. It feels good. It feels good to build a stronger community together. And the presentation this evening will be in webinar mode, which means that we can actually not see you, but you can see and hear us. So if we can't hear you and see you, then we invite you to use the chat feature to share comments. If you have any questions, please put a Q in the front to help us more easily answer your questions. Welcome to all. We're so pleased to introduce Elder Laura, who will provide a welcome to the traditional and unceded territories.
Thank everyone for coming, and thank Creator for this day. My name is Laura Augustina Fortin. I am a Cree Métis mother and grandmother. I've been in here on the Fraser Salish unceded and traditional territories for over 30 years. I'm very honored to be here and celebrate the not-for-profit celebrations and honor them for all the good work that yous have been here doing. I would like to celebrate and honor and recognize the Salish people and their territories, the unceded territories that we are gathered on. This is the Katzie, the Kwantlen, the Semiahmoo, the Tsawwassen, and Salish people's territories that we are gathered on. We want to recognize and honor them, that we are visitors on their territories. So I want to recognize them, and the Inuit and Métis people also. I'm very honored to be here together and with the presentations of being September and the whole year, never mind just the month, recognizing the foundation and raising awareness for all the work that is done and continues to do. I raise my hands to all the people that continue all the work in all these areas. I thank you, Christine, from SurreyCares. I thank you all for being here and doing the work that you do. I also want to recognize all the opportunities that are given to all the not-for-profit organizations with the funding that comes from these agencies to help in a good way. I want to acknowledge that and also acknowledge all the hard work. COVID-19 has not been very kind to us, and it's not going away very soon. So we've always tried to keep our head above water, and it's been very hard. So I want to recognize the hard work that's been done. I want to also acknowledge the 30th of September in recognition of Orange Shirt Day, and in honor of Phyllis Webstad, and the Orange Shirt Day in recognition of the survivors of residential school that never made it home, the children that never made it home also. Hi, all my relations.
Acknowledgement to the dignitaries who are watching from Surrey, Langley, White Rock, Southern BC, CHCI Hub, our MPs, local, provincial, and Indigenous government representatives. We thank you for your support. And now I'd like to introduce John Lawson. John Lawson, Chair, SurreyCares Community Foundation.
Thank you, Nira. Welcome, and thank you all for taking the time to be with us here today. I'm hoping next year we will all be together in the same non-virtual room. We are gathering to celebrate your work and the work we all do together as a community. I'm proud to call Surrey my home, proud of the contribution you all make every day, and very proud of our giving, connected community. This past year has shown the best of us. As hard as it's been, it has revealed who we are and how we can care for one another and work to make a difference in our community. In our brief time together, we're highlighting only a few of the many heroes in Surrey and our neighboring communities. On behalf of SurreyCares, I'd like to thank our donors, fund holders, volunteers, governments, and especially all the hardworking people in our nonprofit organizations and partners who have provided support, safety, care, and most of all, hope to the vulnerable in our community. You have also helped strengthen our community as we grow. We are proud to partner with organizations in a collective effort of helping strengthen the vibrancy of our fast-growing community. This evening, we trust that you will feel the impact of the connection between SurreyCares, our donors, the nonprofits, and the community as a whole. When it comes to the money we grant out each and every year, I know the granting committee has a very difficult task in allocating these dollars. Not only are we massively oversubscribed, but the quality of work done by our nonprofits in Surrey is second to none, which, as I said, makes us incredibly proud, but honestly, distressed that the shortfall of dollars to need is growing. You have seen us be even more visible over the last couple of years, and this is part of a deliberate plan for us to bring awareness to the amazing work you all do, to advocate at all levels of government for more support for the nonprofit sector in Surrey. And the visibility and message is to help everyone understand the pivotal role that we as Surrey's Community Foundation plays in the health of our community's nonprofits, so we can educate those who have the ability and passion to give back to their community. Again, thank you for all you do. Surrey would not be its best version without you. Enjoy your evening, and back to you, Nira.
SurreyCares Foundation recognizes that the sector is much larger than those who receive the financial grants in a given year. SurreyCares works in partnerships within the community and not-for-profit sector, and we acknowledge the contributions that the community groups make that may not be officially registered. This year, SurreyCares has worked with an increased number of organizations who have provided input and advisory and other committees. We also acknowledge that many organizations who apply did not receive funding, that they also are there. Many times our grants committee struggle with the need to say no to strong applications due to oversubscription. Thank you for all you do. Now we'd like to introduce Mike Bose, Chair of the SurreyCares Grants Committee.
Good evening. Yes, I am Mike Bose, Grant Committee Chair for SurreyCares Community Foundation. As someone who has overseen the SurreyCares grant program for the past 25 years, I am delighted to have the opportunity to honor all of the nonprofit organizations in Surrey. Although we are highlighting only a few of our many nonprofits today, I believe most stories are similar. Dedicated volunteers and committed employees working hard to deliver on the mission of their organization, finding solutions, dealing with unforeseen circumstances, and serving our community with energy and pride. Thank you to all for all you do.
Thank you, Mike. We now want to share 3 featured clips to give you a sense of the diversity of the organizations that are supported by SurreyCares. We also wish to help create a sense of connection between the funds behind the grants and the donors, some of whom are with us here tonight. They planted the seeds, and these seeds help make the grants possible with the stewardship of SurreyCares and new donations for the community and from the community. Phoenix Drug and Alcohol Recovery and Education Society recently received a grant from the 70 times 7 times Fund for the Nest.
Hi, I'm Kia McDonald. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Phoenix Society.
Hi, my name is Amy Reed. I am the Fund Development and Communications Manager for Phoenix Society.
The Phoenix Society is a multi-service agency dedicated to supporting individuals facing barriers related to mental health, substance use, criminal justice involvement. We were founded in 1989, and over the last 30 years we've been serving Surrey and helped thousands of people find recovery, housing, employment, and many, many more things. We're really excited today to have you here at The Nest, our newest housing building here in Surrey, which opened back in July. The Nest is a 40-unit supportive housing building supporting individuals in Surrey that are at risk of homelessness or homeless. 16 of the units in this building are dedicated to supporting individuals in supportive recovery. The building has meal programs, health services, case planning, really supportive staff that are here to help people move forward with whatever goals they have in life.
So the Nest Supportive Housing Program is located in the community of Newton. We're at 80th and King George Boulevard, and Newton was in very dire need of these supports and these programs. So we're very proud and we're very thankful to be here running this site, to be providing these much needed services and roofs over our neighbors' heads.
The Nest provides 40 homes to individuals in Surrey that are homeless or at risk of homelessness. As we've all heard time and time again, there are so many unhoused individuals in our community right now. Over 600 people don't have a permanent place to call home. We see it unfortunately on our streets. This is just one part of a broader Surrey strategy to bring people inside, to give them safe, secure, affordable housing, provide them with the services and supports they need to hopefully move forward with their lives.
So here at the Nest, there are 40 studio units, and each unit does contain a kitchenette, a bed, of course, a full washroom, all the essentials of what someone would need to live independently. Phoenix Society as an organization is pet friendly, and the Nest is no different. So animals are allowed here at the Nest, which a lot of our residents really do love. I just wanted to take a moment on behalf of Phoenix Society to say thank you to SurreyCares for truly stepping up for our community over these last 18 months. So many programs would not have been possible without the support provided by SurreyCares, and it was so needed during this unprecedented time amid the pandemic.
We really appreciate the support and the grant we recently received, which is going to go right back into this building, helping people in a culinary program, building life skills, supporting things that are really important to us, which is building community connection, bringing people together, which food is one of the most beneficial things, but developing life skills, those things that we really want to help gain to help them move forward in self-sustaining ways, ultimately to their next day after the Nest.
At Phoenix Society, our philosophy and our focus and everything we do is about building community. That's the goal in all our programs. Also empowering individuals, building life skills, and we really were looking to do something here at the Nest that aligned with that vision and with those goals. So we want to say thank you to SurreyCares for this grant. With it, we are going to be launching an 8-week culinary program for our residents here at the Nest. We'll provide budgeting skills, life skills, and of course, we'll include meal preparation. One aspect of the program we're very excited about is that the meals will be given back to the community through our mobile community kitchen program, specifically to seniors in the community of Surrey here. Connection to community is such an integral part of reintegration, of building self-esteem, and this program really will help our residents here at the Nest achieve that. So we thank SurreyCares for allowing us to run this program to empower, to provide independence for these new residents here at the Nest in Newton. Programs and projects like this wouldn't be possible without multiple partners coming together. So we'd like to thank BC Housing and the City of Surrey for working with us to open this facility in such a quick fashion, and the supports are so direly needed in our community.
We would like to introduce Stalu Arts and Culture Society. This project is based in Langley and received funding from the Government of Canada's Emergency Community Support Fund. Virtual programming has benefited many far from outside of our geographic boundaries.
My name is QayQayt. I am otherwise known as Phyllis Atkins. I'm a member of Kwantlen First Nation, and I'm also an artist and co-own QayQayt, a spring salmon studio, with my husband, Drew Atkins. I also work full-time for Stalut Arts and Cultural Society. We are a registered charity. We are dedicated to empowering, uplifting, advocating for Indigenous artists to share their gifts with the community, virtual and more recently in person. So our office is located on Kwantlen First Nation, but we are within the shared territory of Katzie and Semiahmoo First Nations. Some of our presenters are from the land-based nations, but we also have and support other Indigenous artists living and working within our communities, and such as the Emergency Community Support Fund that earlier this year supported us greatly in the time that we needed it. And yeah, so thank you. Well, actually, they were all very successful, all the programs, but one in particular, we called it the virtual gatherings on Wednesday nights. And it was actually just all of us gathering, not a specific workshop. We suggested that people join us online, listen to drumming and singing, connect with community, and work on whatever project they had at home. And we had a really good response with that one. So much that people have been asking, when is it going to start again? We had some elders from our community that live in Smithers or, different parts up country, and they don't have any connection to our community. So they started joining, and then soon after that, more people from their family started joining, and the word was getting out. So we're going to continue. We're going to start again with that in October and November. Indigenous communities are used to having gatherings, being together through ceremonies, celebrations, deaths, family events, and through COVID, our community and a lot of the First Nations communities shut down to protect the elders and the knowledge keepers. And with that, separation and isolation, it really took a toll on a lot of people, especially when they're isolated. It's like their mental health, their emotional, spiritual, physical health, they just need that connection. We are going to be going back to some virtual programs like the powwow dance lessons coming up in October with Shama Priya and David Whitebeam. During those classes, Shama and David are so great. They teach the protocols, the teachings, they break down the steps to, for people that are just starting, that there's no experience necessary, and they walk you through step by step. And they also have low impact and high impact moves. So yeah, we're just excited to have that back again.
My name is Gary Thandy. I'm the founder and executive director of Moving Forward Family Services. So the agency is a low barrier counseling service. We offer counseling services to anybody that requests it, whether it's children, youth, adults, seniors, couples, families, and in multiple languages. And by low barrier, I mean anybody, again, that can contact us and we can arrange services, and financial circumstances are not a barrier. Where they're located, typically not a barrier. We try to accommodate whatever their circumstances are. After COVID, operations have changed dramatically. We shifted for the most part to online and telephone counseling, and a lot of our counselors prefer that, absolutely, and a lot of our clients as well with COVID and potential underlying health issues a lot of folks were wanting to have sort of distance-based counseling services. So we moved to online and distance-based, and we still do a little bit of in-person to try to accommodate anyone that needs that type of service. And after the initial call for distancing, calls dropped off, but I think within a few weeks it came right back to the same numbers, and now we're well above the numbers for requests for service before COVID. So it's busy. The funding is incredibly important. The demand was so high because we have this open mandate service that a lot of folks who can't access services somewhere else are contacting us, and we were struggling with accommodating the numbers. And so having some funding to be able to hire some wonderful skilled supervisors who could oversee operations and oversee the counselors, and we have many intern counselors with us at any given time that do amazing work, but they need supervision, they need support. And so this funding has allowed us to hire a supervisor who can oversee that operation and continue to serve the clients and continue to serve this increasing demand. So I want to thank SurreyCares Foundation and the Government of Canada for the Emergency Community Support Fund. It's very much needed and very much appreciated.
The next video by the SurreyCares communications team of our youngest staff members brings to light some of what we saw and learned in talking to grant recipients on the front lines of COVID response.
SurreyCares is celebrating the work of all the nonprofit organizations who every day serve tirelessly to relieve challenges for those most vulnerable in our community.
Kindred Community Farm Sanctuary is a small community farm. We invite all the community to partake in what's happening here.
You may ask, under such difficult circumstances during the last year and a half, how have you managed to care for, feed, support, counsel, and protect those most vulnerable?
So Options Community Services has provided community social services for almost 50 years.
Dan's Legacy is a nonprofit organization. We provide trauma-informed and culturally sensitive counseling and life skills programs to young people who are dealing with mental health and addictions issues.
These are the people, the resilient, hardworking, collaborative, problem-solving community members who have served diligently to support and lift those in need. We are grateful to all the nonprofit organizations and their people who make a difference for our community's most at-risk populations.
City Dream Center exists to help the most vulnerable in our community. Our goal is to bridge the gap between homelessness, addiction, and poverty to self-sustainability.
Helping, guiding, supporting, educating, caring, and feeding. It's occurring every day to make a difference in our community.
Harmony House, it's a safe housing for women who are fleeing domestic violence.
We are a faith-based organization that's across Canada. So we work with different schools in our cities and different areas that we're in.
As calls for help grew, organizations transformed the delivery of their services to ensure the safety of their clients, volunteers, and donors.
At the beginning of COVID, we heard that there was a big need for getting people meals because they couldn't come on the buses anymore, they couldn't get here. Also, a lot of the Meals on Wheels programs were very unsure of COVID, of whether or not they could take more clients, and a lot of the seniors were calling us and said they needed food.
We are grateful for the innovation, collaboration, and resilience in delivering services to our community's most at-risk populations.
It's so grateful to hear the peers speaking out loud about what they learn, and sometimes they instruct people how you should wipe your hand before and then after. Here's the mask, please wear. So it's really nice. And now we transfer to vaccination, so we try to encourage people to.
Traditionally we have provided a full backpack, and that's designed to provide 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, and 2 dinners, not just to the kids, but it's enough food to provide for the whole family.
It was really important to continue to deliver that workshop, raise awareness, give the kids tools to be able to identify when this may be happening to them or their friends.
So we've had to learn how to work outside of that framework and still be able to give the love and the support and care that we would have prior to the pandemic, because they need it even more now.
This charity in itself has helped, I don't even know how many families. For me, they gave laptop, which I'm sure is well over $1,000 device, which I could not ever afford myself. So that gave me the possibility of keeping my son home during COVID to homeschool him.
And we've also just done a lot of phone check-ins and gone to partner sites to bring vegetable donations, to bring our food literary sessions there, and do what we can at the partner sites with the resources that they have, following their COVID prevention protocols and staying safe. So we've thankfully been able to continue operating and actually increase some of the impact and the number of partnerships in the community by thinking creatively in new ways.
SurreyCares is grateful to everyone who has been a lifeline for so many in our community. Thank you for all that you do. You are special people, and we are honored to work hand in hand with our fund holders, partners, donors, volunteers, and nonprofits that supply the support and connection to those in our community who are most in need. We live in Surrey, we invest in Surrey, we know Surrey, we care about Surrey.
Designated fund recipients also carry out their missions with annual grants from designated funds created by donors to create a sustainable funding system. These organizations also pivoted and continue to support the strengthening of community for all. They include arts and culture, education, recreation, and more. Every day, these organizations contribute to the well-being and vibrancy of our community. Now we'd like to introduce Parliamentary Secretary Sharma.
Hello, I'm Nikki Sharma, BC's Parliamentary Secretary for Community Development and Nonprofits. I'm coming to you today from the traditional territory of the Squamish, Tsawwassen, and Musqueam people. On behalf of the Government of British Columbia, I want to say congratulations to all the nonprofit organizations being recognized here this evening, and to extend my thank you for all the work that you do. You are making a difference to so many in British Columbia. I know this past year has been challenging, and you've all risen to the challenge. So many people have been benefited from the work that you do at their time of higher need across this year. And I know you're tired, and I want to say that I see you, and we appreciate all the work that you've done to make our communities more resilient. As we continue to recover, I know that we will continue to depend on the work that you do. I want to wish you all a happy Community Foundation Month. Community foundations like SurreyCares have been leaders in British Columbia during this pandemic, serving nonprofits and community members in Surrey and anywhere where there's a need. I know you provided guidance and support and funding, and I just want to appreciate all the work that you've done. And of course, I'd also like to say and acknowledge all the donors and volunteers that show up over and over again to be the people power and the money power that helps nonprofits do their work in community. As a Parliamentary Secretary for Nonprofits, I can't thank you enough. Despite the challenges of this year, you have helped us build resilience in our communities, and I'm committed to working with you to reimagine a society where everyone can succeed. Organizations like SurreyCares are leading the way, and nonprofits here today are working in their communities, and I know working together we can build a more inclusive and equitable society in BC. Congratulations to everyone, and thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Joanne Dennis, and I am the president of the Surrey Art Gallery Association. With this Surrey Art Gallery Association, what I have found as far as being a volunteer, because our board is made up of volunteers, we basically work together to find ways to support the Surrey Art Gallery, but at the same time we're also trying to find ways to support artists in the community. COVID was challenging. There was a lot of pivoting that we had to do. The first thing that happened was the announcement that the whole Surrey Art Centre was going to close happened just before a board meeting. What we identified was that we could put the gift shop online. The learning curves were huge because here you were going from in-person events to online events, and you were looking at tools, especially the software tools that you need to use. Every single one, there's something to learn before you can actually launch. And then also the sales that we were previously achieving in the gift shop were just, practically non-existent, especially until we got the online store up and running, and same with the art rental program. So what we found was the endowment fund and how SurreyCare manages it for us, bringing us a check annually helped us make sure our gift shop manager was always paid. And we also were able to support others in the industry. What I see is a need to increase our endowment fund and also get donors to notice us. Surrey is known as a big sprawling city, but still not seen as a sort of a vibrant community in the arts. What we'd really like to see are things like populating Surrey with art centres. Then people start to see what's possible for them in terms of their self-development when it comes to a creative side that gives them community. And that's what we want to see happening for Surrey. So for that to happen, there's things like the big, push for the Interactive Art Museum. And there's a push for let's populate Surrey and get more arts buildings out there so that people actually have choice. When it comes to a city of the size of Surrey, it would just make a huge difference for us to actually help us engage our youth, help us engage adults, help us engage the whole community into art-making kind of activities that give them a place to go, give them a sense of community, give them a pride in their community as well. Because the more involved they are in the community, in whatever form it is, the more proud they are of that community, the better they look after it.
My name is Carolyn Convey. I was a grade 1 teacher. I'm now retired at Northridge Elementary. Manjeet Pangali was my teaching partner for 4 years before her death.
I'm Maya Pangali, and I'm Manjeet's daughter. And for this scholarship, I just present it every year to the winner.
In 2007, I approached the Surrey Foundation, which Surrey Foundation at the time, now SurreyCares, to set up some kind of scholarship, bursary, something in memory of Manjeet. And Northridge School was behind me in this. They were helping to set it up. SurreyCares was awesome. They walked me through the process. CARES is a foundation that holds the donation money that is given to the Manjeet Pangali Scholarship. That money, it generates the scholarship every year. Initially it was $500, but the scholarship has grown through the generosity of the community, and we are now giving out $1,000 scholarship every year to a student that went to Northridge that now goes to Panorama High School, which is the closest neighboring high school. Being a fund holder with SurreyCares gives people the opportunity to donate to a cause that has been presented to the foundation or to SurreyCares. And if you go onto the website, you will see various ways that you can donate money to the community, through the community. And I've gone to several meetings and I can see how SurreyCares donates in so many ways back to the community.
My mom, she really did love teaching, and she strongly valued the education of her students. And the scholarship was just a way for the students to help continue with their education and achieve their dreams.
The vision of the fund, I would like to see that a minimum of $1,000 scholarship is given out every year. It would be, as the fund grows, we could give out more money back to students, either 1 or 2 students, depending on how much every year we have in the fund to donate. It's like I said, it's just so important that the students that receive the scholarship know where the money came from, that it came from the memory of Manjeet, the people around her, the community that cared enough to donate to the fund.
I'd like to thank you for the donors for making this scholarship possible. It's a great way for these students to keep achieving their dreams and keeping my mom's legacy alive.
Hi, my name is Anisha Grover, and I am a recipient of the Manjeet Bengali Fund in 2021. I'm currently in my dorm at the University of British Columbia, and I am studying at the Sauder School of Business. I was very grateful to receive this scholarship. It definitely relieves a lot of the financial stress that comes with going to post-secondary. Also, my parents came here 30 years ago to give my brother and I more opportunities in life, and I don't want them to have to worry about things like tuition fees and textbook costs, so it definitely meant a lot to me. I don't really have any personal stories that directly relate to the scholarship, but I definitely have done a lot of volunteer work at Northridge. Like, I did a 2-week work experience, and I've always just loved the community there, so I thought I would mention that. It's a really great elementary school. Just that it's a great fund, and I really hope it gets a lot more recognition. They're doing good things in Surrey as well.
I'd like to introduce Christine Buckes, Executive Director, who will wrap up the evening with a special surprise and who, with the help of the team, will be able to respond to the questions and comments from the chat.
Thanks, Nira. And I can only say, wow, that was just a sample of all you do in the community every day, year in, year out, and we are so grateful to you. This evening, it is my pleasure to bring greetings from Mayor Doug McCallum, who sent his regrets. And he writes, on behalf of Surrey City Council, I'm pleased to welcome you to the SurreyCares not-for-profit celebration. As we enter the second year of the pandemic, there is no question that many individuals, families, and businesses are in need of a helping hand. For nonprofit organizations, the need has never been greater. Through dedication, perseverance, and stretching every resource and dollar, nonprofits in Surrey have risen to the challenge. I have always said that Surrey is a city that prides itself on its sense of community. The number of organizations reaching out to support and connect our communities during these unprecedented times are proof of the care and compassion that we have within our city. I want to commend our nonprofits for the critical work being done to help our most vulnerable. I also want to thank SurreyCares for hosting this celebration and recognizing those who have done so much to help our community. Sincerely, His Worship Doug McCallum. So we wanted to also make sure that we thanked you this evening for all of your contributions in bringing us here together. Many of you have made time for us to come and put together the video presentations, and we were just happy to be able to turn the table this evening. You've been saying thank you to us for the relief that's been provided in our annual grants, and today it's our turn to say thank you to you. This past year has been a lot about honoring our 27-year history as we also look forward. So I wanted to share something with you that you might not be aware of if you haven't been around since the beginning. In the year of 1997, 4 Surrey charitable organizations received grants from SurreyCares. That was the first year that grants were made. A total sum of $10,000 was awarded to 4 organizations. And some of those organizations still receive grants from us today. Some of them we don't hear from as often. In that first year, we awarded grants to BC Special Olympics, the Stroke Recovery Club, Mary Jane Shannon Elementary School for a playground, and Surrey Crime Prevention. Some things have changed. Our annual grants from SurreyCares Endowment growth from investments and new donations this year totaled $59,000, plus over $380,000 to our designated fund holders. And as you've heard, we have also made substantive flow-through grants. And in the coming weeks, we did hope to have an announcement today about the Healthy Communities Initiative grants. These are funded by the federal government, and the results are embargoed as we come through the election period. So please watch our website for details to come. As we move forward to tomorrow, Canada's first Truth and Reconciliation Day, I am wearing my orange shirt that was created by FRAFCA. And we wanted to just acknowledge FRAFCA. They've been one of our local grant recipients, and the proceeds from sales of t-shirts go right back into programming for FRAFCA. So we do try wherever we can to support the local economy in our day-to-day work. We look forward to seeing our NPOs at the next quarterly update, and thank you very much for being part of Community Foundation Month with us this year as we come to a close. From us, we hope that this evening you feel appreciated and that your efforts for the community are valued. We tried to bring a selection of projects together, and obviously we couldn't make everyone visible tonight. We invite you to look at our YouTube channel and our blogs and sign up for our newsletter, and you'll find many more stories there that we didn't have space for this evening. So at this time, I have called on John Lawson, and he has shared with me the lucky number. We did promise you a surprise this evening, and I'm just going to look at my list here. And the lucky recipient this evening of a small grant, because we had typically funding set aside to host an event together in a space. So the board has allocated a portion of that budget that we can make a grant to use. So congratulations to Lambrini from Love. We'll arrange to connect that with you. And I see, thanks, Jillian is putting congratulations up there. I also, before we move to any questions or comments that you may have, and I think Maliha can unmute if anyone wants to speak at the mic, I did want to thank our very dedicated team. This evening would not have been possible without the support of our staff. So Lynn, Maliha, Romy, Matthias, and Coral, who have been working busily behind the scenes to pull everything together for us. And of course, to the board of directors and all of our volunteers and donors and dignitaries who are with us this evening. We appreciate your time in being here with us tonight. And if we haven't been able to profile you yet, some of you have just had your grants announced, and we look forward to a safe visit with you in the near future.
What a wonderful evening. Congratulations to everyone for all of their hard work. 3 cheers for the nonprofit organization. I mean, this is amazing being a part of this with SurreyCares. And, you know, we're looking forward to seeing you again next year on behalf of everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of this evening with us.